Android desktop mode just got a boost. Pin favorite apps to taskbar easily. Android's desktop experience evolves with new taskbar pinning feature. Frustrated by constantly hunting for your favorite apps in desktop mode? Google just solved one of Android's biggest desktop usability problems, and it might change how you view your phone's potential as a PC replacement. Key highlights. Google has enhanced Android's experimental desktop mode with a crucial new capability, the ability to permanently pin applications to the taskbar for instant access. Users can now find a convenient Pin to Taskbar option in an application's context menu, enabling them to anchor frequently used programs to the dock for immediate launching even after closing them. While seemingly minor, this addition represents a critical advancement in Google's ongoing mission to transform Android into a legitimate desktop computing alternative, particularly as it aims to challenge Apple's iPad ecosystem. The dream of using your Pixel smartphone as a genuine computer replacement is inching closer to reality with Android's desktop mode functionality, though admittedly, it remains a work in progress. This desktop environment still lacks numerous features we've come to expect from traditional computing platforms. However, Google continues making steady improvements, and the latest Android Canary build introduces a fundamental yet indispensable tool for managing your application workspace. In the initial Android Canary release that dropped last week, we discovered that the desktop mode launcher now includes a Pin to Taskbar shortcut within an application's drawer context menu. When selected, this option secures the app to your dock, providing easy access even after you've closed the program. Removing pinned applications is equally straightforward. Simply drag the icon away from the dock using your phone or tablet's touchscreen, or alternatively, select the Unpin from Taskbar option from the app's taskbar context menu. A brief demonstration video showcases this new pinning/unpinning functionality in action. Interestingly, this shortcut currently appears exclusively in the desktop mode launcher rather than the standard launcher interface. This seems like a peculiar limitation, especially considering that the taskbar is visible on the main screens of most Android tablets and book-style foldable devices. But here's where it gets interesting. This addition signals Google's serious commitment to elevating Android's desktop capabilities. While seemingly modest, this taskbar pinning feature represents a necessary stepping stone toward creating a competitive desktop environment. This aligns with Google's recently confirmed strategy to eventually unify ChromeOS and Android into a single cohesive platform, a move widely understood as an effort to better position Android devices as viable alternatives to Apple's iPad ecosystem. To achieve this ambitious goal, Google must continue implementing foundational features like taskbar pinning until Android's desktop experience achieves parity with established computing platforms. A word of caution for eager users: although this feature is currently available in the July Android Canary build, the timeline for its broader release remains uncertain. If the functionality appears in the upcoming Android 16 QPR1 Beta 3 update, we can reasonably expect it to reach the stable QPR1 release targeted for September. However, should it not materialize in that update, the feature might be delayed until the QPR2 release or potentially even later. Do you think these incremental improvements will eventually make Android a serious contender in the desktop computing space? Or is Google fighting an uphill battle against more established platforms? Share your thoughts in the comments. Is taskbar pinning enough, or what other desktop features would you consider essential before making the switch? Have information to share? Contact our editorial team at news@androidauthority.com. You may remain anonymous or receive attribution for your tip. The choice is yours. I think you see the future first on Android. Google's Android leader Sameer Samat. You'll see the future first on Android. Insights from Sameer Samat, Google's Android chief. My engaging dialogue with Sameer Samat, the president of the Android ecosystem at Google, kicked off with him putting me on the spot. He might have noticed my MacBook Pro or the Apple Watch adorning my wrist. While I was busy recording our conversation with the impressive Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 that I was testing, Samat was keen to delve into my reasons for using a Mac. Caught off guard, I stumbled over my words, but rather than questioning my choice of not using Android, Samat was genuinely interested in the applications I utilize on my laptop and how I juggle my iPhone, MacBook, and Apple Watch. I asked because we're planning to merge ChromeOS and Android into a unified platform, and I'm eager to learn how people are utilizing their laptops these days and what tasks they are accomplishing, Samat clarified. I felt a wave of relief as we transitioned to discussing ChromeOS, mobile CPUs and laptops, and reminiscing about the days when we both upgraded our system RAM. Eventually, we arrived at the topics that piqued my interest the most: Android, Gemini, Samsung, Galaxy AI, and Android XR. This year has already been monumental for Google and Android, which Samat, a seasoned Google employee with 16 years of experience, oversees. The unveiling of Android 16, codenamed Baklava, took place at Google I/O 2025 in May, introducing Material 3 Expressive, which Samat described as the platform's most significant design overhaul in the last 3 to 4 years. Android 16 comes packed with enhanced support for larger tablet displays, smoother animations, and a wealth of customization options. Users can now take a photo, set it as their wallpaper, and seamlessly integrate the color palette of that image throughout the system, affecting applications like Gmail and even third-party apps. Samat expressed that the aim was to create something modern and delightful while remaining approachable and familiar, steering clear of a "who moved my cheese" scenario. Personalizing your experience. This might explain why Android 16 feels like a series of thoughtful enhancements to me, rather than a complete overhaul. I recognize familiar elements, yet I can also envision how to tailor it to my preferences. For Samat, this aspect of personalization is paramount. Android has always been about empowering users to personalize and customize their devices. With the initial launch of Material Design several years ago, we elevated this concept to new heights. He explained that the Android 16 experience allows users to align the aesthetics of their home screen with the overall look and feel of their device. A new era of access. Another significant update with Android 16 this year is not just about design or functionality, but rather about accessibility. As I explore the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, I am experiencing Android 16 for the first time. This is noteworthy because, typically, a new Samsung flagship device launches with the previous version of Android, only receiving the upgrade after the latest Google Pixel devices have been released, which can take months. However, this year is different. We revamped our entire development process over a year ago to facilitate more frequent Android releases and ensure that device manufacturers can access the latest updates in sync with their major phone launches, Samat explained. This new approach, termed trunk stable, has enabled Google to roll out Android versions more frequently. Additionally, the introduction of Android drops allows Google to enhance the Android experience almost seamlessly, without necessitating a full operating system update. We typically do these quarterly, providing a friendly pop-up notification on your phone that says, "Hey, your phone just got better." Navigating the choice. While I aim to avoid turning this into a debate between Android and iOS, I was curious about Samat's perspective on the decision-making process and what advice he would offer to someone contemplating a switch. For Samat, the act of choosing is synonymous with switching, and he's likely correct. Many people have already made their choices. First and foremost, it's crucial to acknowledge that switching isn't as straightforward as it should be. We believe consumers should be able to transition to any phone and platform they desire without facing obstacles. Transferring your data and apps should be a simple process. It's 2025, after all. Both Apple and Google provide guidance and even applications to assist with the migration, but I understand Samat's point. There are inherent risks involved in making a switch, and it's not merely about moving from an iPhone to a Samsung Galaxy or Google Pixel. It's about the entire ecosystem and the potential loss of connectivity between devices. On a broader scale, the differences between platforms often boil down to two colors, green and blue. Messaging is a significant concern for consumers, especially in the US, who are often worried about green bubbles. This concern arises from the differences in capabilities between the two types of bubbles. With RCS, which replaces SMS, we now have a modern standard. Samat elaborated on the enhancements RCS brings, such as consistent image quality for photos and videos, the ability to see when someone is typing in a chat, and read receipts. However, I believe we need to go further. We advocate for these platforms to facilitate easier data transfer between them using industry standards, and that's a significant part of our mission, he added. If you take the plunge to switch from iOS to Android, Samat is confident that the effort will be worthwhile. He has witnessed it firsthand with individuals who have made the transition. I genuinely believe you'll see the future first on Android, he stated. The impressive Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 certainly supports this claim. It stands as the pinnacle of foldable technology, and Apple will undoubtedly be striving to catch up when it eventually releases the iPhone Fold. But there's more to it, as Samat highlighted the integration of Gemini across Android devices. The power of Gemini. Referring to it as the Gemini experience, Samet noted that those who switch are repeatedly discovering what they've been missing. With a sense of pride, Samet demonstrated Gemini's profound integration within Android, starting with his personal search for a family vehicle. I observed as he located a 2020 Honda Odyssey minivan and granted Gemini access to his screen, allowing it to analyze what he was viewing, summarize the information, and assist him in making informed decisions. This was a compelling demonstration, especially considering that Apple has made similar promises with Apple Intelligence and Siri but has yet to deliver. Gemini appears to be significantly ahead in this regard. Samet also showcased how Gemini can not only summarize lengthy YouTube videos but also break down their claims with timestamps by sourcing information from the web. Here, it seems Gemini is truly leveraging its Google search heritage. What I'm emphasizing, Samet continued, is that having Gemini integrated into a phone offers a far more enriching experience. When consumers transition from an iPhone, they quickly realize how much they've been missing out on. As Apple scrambles to catch up with Apple Intelligence, Android and Gemini are forging ahead with partners like Samsung, though it's not without its challenges. Navigating AI confusion. When you pick up a Samsung device like the Galaxy Z Fold 7, you're met with three distinct forms of onboard intelligence: Samsung Galaxy AI, Bixby, and Gemini. While Bixby has a specific, system-oriented focus, its presence can add to the confusion. However, I was eager to clarify the relationship between Galaxy AI and Gemini with Samet. To explain this to consumers across the diverse range of Android devices, you have Circle to Search and Gemini. Circle to Search is Google's premier multimodal search tool. You can utilize it across anything displayed on your screen. It's an incredible search feature accessible by long pressing the same button on any Android phone. As Google, we aim to ensure that these two features, Circle to Search and Gemini, are easily accessible and clearly identifiable across all devices that consumers are considering. Gemini is the best assistant available. By holding down the side key on any flagship Android phone, you can summon Gemini, tailored to your current context. Both of these capabilities are developed by Google, Samet stated. He also noted that Google does not monopolize the term AI, and that other companies are developing their own AI technologies, which will continue to evolve. I think that's fantastic, he remarked, because if the features are exceptional, it adds more value for consumers and fosters innovation. However, our goal at Google is to ensure that Circle to Search and Gemini are distinctly accessible and identifiable across all devices that consumers are considering. In a sense, Samsung seems to have struck a balance, even if they don't always clarify where Galaxy AI ends and Gemini begins. Exploring extended reality. As the authority on all things Android, Samet also oversees Android XR, Google's nascent extended reality platform currently being utilized to develop headsets like Samsung's Project Moon. Samet wanted to clarify Google's approach to this domain. First and foremost, our mission with Android is to revolutionize computing to empower everyone. This means making computing accessible to individuals worldwide. With over 3 billion Android devices in circulation, for many, their first and only computer is an Android device. This is significant, but there's also the high end of computing, where we push the boundaries and explore new possibilities for technology. Samet expressed his excitement about this field and reminded me that Google is not a newcomer to this arena. They may have ventured too early with Google Glass, but that experience served as a valuable lesson, and Samet emphasized that they have never ceased their efforts in this area. One of the aspects I appreciate about working at Google is its culture of self-reflection. We do make mistakes, but the key takeaway, Google's unified Android and ChromeOS, what this merger means for users. A seismic shift is on the horizon for Google's ecosystem. Imagine a world where your phone, tablet, and laptop all run the same operating system. That's exactly what Google is aiming for with its plan to merge ChromeOS and Android into a single platform. In late November, whispers surfaced about a multi-year project to transition ChromeOS into Android, and last week, Sameer Samat, the Android team leader, confirmed it during an interview with TechRadar. While not a formal press release, Samat's words carry weight. After all, he's the architect of Android's future. So, what does this mean for everyday users? Let's break it down. More versatile devices, simplified. Android and ChromeOS already flex across devices. Android powers phones, tablets, and foldables, while ChromeOS thrives on laptops and 2-in-1 hybrids. But merging them could unlock even more possibilities. Picture this: plug your phone into a monitor, and suddenly it's a full-fledged PC. Tuck a keyboard into your tablet, and voila, a laptop. Samsung's DeX mode has hinted at this for years, letting Galaxy devices switch to a desktop interface. Now, Android 16 QPR1 is rolling out a similar feature for Pixel phones, and Google's recent test of Chrome extensions on Android suggests the company is building the foundation for a seamless hybrid experience. But here's where it gets controversial. Will users actually want their phones to double as laptops, or will this just complicate things? Cross-device magic, Apple style. Samat didn't mince words when he told TechRadar that Apple's ecosystem is a benchmark for Google. Apple's devices work together like a symphony: control your iPhone from a Mac, use an iPad as a secondary display, or have AirPods automatically switch between devices. Google has made strides with features like Quick Share and web-based messaging, but a unified OS could level the playing field. Imagine syncing your Pixel phone with a Chromebook so seamlessly that you can drag files between them or continue typing an email on your laptop after starting it on your phone. And this is the part most people miss: the real game changer might be how apps behave across devices. A unified OS could let developers create apps that adapt to any screen size or input method, whether you're swiping on a tablet or using a mouse and keyboard. But will Google's approach feel as intuitive as Apple's? Share your thoughts below. Google's hardware gamble. Let's talk about laptops. Google's own Chromebook line, like the Pixelbook and Pixel Slate, has been met with mixed reviews. They're praised by tech enthusiasts but haven't dominated the market. Now, rumors suggest Google is working on a premium laptop codenamed Snowy, allegedly positioned to rival the MacBook Pro and Surface laptop. If true, this could signal a bold move to pair its software vision with hardware that showcases it. But will users trust Google to build a laptop that's both powerful and user-friendly? After all, hardware requires more than just great software. It needs design, performance, and, above all, reliability. When will this happen? Google has been inching toward this unification for years. Android apps have run on ChromeOS since 2016, and whispers of deeper integration have circulated for over a year. However, Sameer Samat hasn't given a timeline, and it could still be years before we see consumer devices running the merged OS. That said, the groundwork is solid: Chrome extensions on Android, improved cross-device tools, and internal projects like Snowy all point to a future where Google's devices work together like a well-oiled machine. So, what's your take? Is this the future of computing, or just another overhyped tech experiment? Will Google's ecosystem ever rival Apple's seamless experience? Drop a comment and let's debate, because this is the kind of topic that's guaranteed to spark opinions.